Excellennial here with Nathan, the Excel novice. My guides with Nathan are going to be a little bit different than my typical story-based Excel tutorials, and that's because Nathan focuses a little bit more on the terminology used and more base-level understandings of Excel. I believe it's important to define my terms, so when I'm making these guides saying what rows are and what columns are, I want to be sure I also have a video explaining what those things are, just in case someone doesn't know. Now with that said, Nathan is confused by the terms used in Excel tutorials, and he wants some clarification. By the end of this video, Nathan will understand the difference between rows, cells, columns, workbooks, and worksheets. Here we have a brand new blank workbook. You can see up here at the top it says Book 2. This is a situation where worksheets and workbooks can sometimes be used interchangeably, and that's because you also see here towards the bottom, this is a tab right here, this is named Sheet 1. Technically, this is a new worksheet, but because it is also its own XLSX document, it is also considered a workbook. So the book itself is the entire document, and the worksheet is the individual tabs. You can see as I add tabs, it names them Sheet 2, Sheet 3, and so on. Next, we're going to talk about rows. All of these items here on the side of the Excel sheet are all rows. These are typically the ones that are numbered, whereas the columns on the top usually have the alphabet. This isn't always the case depending on how your settings are in the workbook, but the majority of the time they are automatically set to be numbers on the side for the rows and letters on the top for the columns. For example, here I'm selecting row 1 through 14, whereas here I'm selecting column A or column A through column G. Now when you select this up in the corner here, it allows you to select the entire sheet. Now the last thing that we need to talk about is cells. Have you ever played chess before? Some chessboards come with the letters on the bottom right in front of you and numbers on the side. You could be going by the rules where you have to declare what square you are moving your piece to. That means if you pick up a pawn and you move it 2 pieces forward, you have to say you're moving it to, let's say from this picture, A4. This is exactly how Excel works. Now, if you see the column A and you want to type something in row 9, you are putting something in cell A9. That applies to 100% of these cells. If I want to put something in column H, row 5, this is cell H5. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of how to figure out what cell you're in based on the column and the row. Now Nathan actually understands the terms that are being used in these Excel tutorials. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the section below, and until next time, have fun excelling!